Hello, people of the world. Today I'm going to take a difficult topic. That's why I have this different camera angle, because I'm using my PC to read some notes that I kept, because this is a really subtle and polarizing topic, and I wanted to be more precise than usual because, well, some stuff has to be treated with delicate manners. So the topic is about specifically slut shaming, but more in general the use of words, the freedom of use of some words, and well, someone could call the freedom of speech. I kinda disagree with the use of this locution of this group of words. What I think should be said though is that the word slut shaming is actually not wrong, but misused. It redirects the attention from the real bigger problem to a more precise topic, and doesn't allow to see the bigger picture, mostly to tackle the bigger problem that is the sex shame. I think that the right word should be sex shaming, not slut shaming. The main issue and the main reason why slut shaming is still good, it's because sexism. Okay, slut shaming, since slut is, well, at least historically, more used for women, or, well, people that identify as women, we can still see some value in the use of slut shaming because it brings up the sexist part of the problem, but more in general, it doesn't really address the main matter. The main matter being that sex is not a bad thing in our society. And why do I have to give the context in our society? Well, this will be clear in a few minutes. Anyway, sex is not a bad thing in our society, but it's seen as such. And having, well, for example, many partners or just enjoying a sexual life is seen as a bad thing. That's why there is the negative connotation of the word slut that we are going to address anyway. But the issue is not the slut insult thing itself. That's maybe a different issue. The issue is that at its own roots, the sex behaviors are seen as still as a bad thing from some people, and this is used as a moral judgment and as an insult. And that's the main problem, not the use of the word slut, which in fact is actually quite a gray area. Why? Because slut is a word, and there are many words that, especially lately, have been more and more banned, forbidden. We know about the N-word, for example, or, well, in Italy there are many words that are, well, not really forbidden yet, but most likely. And there is a reason behind this. That's not really the meaning that the words have, but the history that a specific word brings with itself. And with history I mean also the connotations, no? Because we can have a word that describes something, but it can describe in a negative, positive, or neutral way. There is a simple example, that's the word stupid. You see, you can use the word stupid as a description, as a neutral thing, as a positive thing, in fact, mostly between friends, as a joke. You are allowed to use such a word. You can, in fact, insult someone and call them bastards, okay? You are fucking bastard, but you are my friend. It's not really like a negative use of the word bastard or the stupid one. I wanted to use stupid though because there are even more inflections of this word. There is the imbecile version, the dumb version. Dumb is lighter, really friendly as a word, not necessarily, but mostly. While imbecile is, or idiot is better, is really negative. Idiot is almost always used in a negative way. Why am I using this? Because slut does not have this. The only word is slut, and loving sex is just seen as a negative thing. There are no single words to express it as a positive or neutral thing. And this is a big problem. Not to the fact that there is a negative word regarding enjoying sex, because there are negative words regarding a lot of things, like idiot, we'll talk about them in a while. What I'm proposing for the solution, just to be clear, is to not ban the slut word or any negative word, honestly. Maybe address the way they are used, the intention behind. That's the problem, the insult. But we'll talk also about this. Anyway, take the intentions behind the use of a word and eventually move from them, but not from the use of a word. Because, for example, suppose you are a writer, a solitaire, and you want to, write a book and put out the perception of someone, of maybe a bad character, or maybe a positive one, because in a while we'll see why many positive people, many good people use still words that are comparable to slut for what they do, actually. Anyway, you can't if the word is banned, or you want to talk in public or make a movie, and you are not insulting someone, okay? You're not insulting someone in a one-on-one conversation and calling them a slut. You are just using the word to narrate a story or to describe a person. And why? Someone could say, but why? I mean, you can't describe a person and still be neutral if you use slut. Well, that's true, but no one is saying that everyone should share the same values, and no one is saying, well, at least not the complex values, and no one is saying that you cannot judge someone, okay? You can express opinions on people, and you actually can use a word that not really judges, but defines a person that loves sex in a negative way. Why is it so? Because maybe for you, that's how it is. For you, sex is a negative thing. I mean, in our society, it's not. But what if it was? That's actually why the word came to be. Like, not historically, necessarily. That's just an insult, but that's what the word is, in fact. It's just a description of a person from a negative point of view, for what those people are and do. And you could say, but you should never judge. But we always do. We always do. I mean, is someone forbidding the use of the word evil? Evil. Evil is the simplest word that does this thing. If you talk about someone, you say, that person is evil, don't really... you are judging that person, you are expressing, from your point of view, a bad judgment on that person. And you can do it, you can always do such a thing, no? And just evil is more general, it's not linked to something. So, I mean, it should be forbidden too, because you are expressing a judgment on a person. That's the main issue. Or the main issue is a different one. Maybe the main issue is that, how to put it, the values have changed and you want to push this change of values. Well, that's true, that can be a reason, but I mean, there is hypocrisy in this, because stuff that was a value once is not a value anymore, and so now you can use negative words regarding such things. Well, there are many examples. For example, well, in Italy it's typical for people to swear. Once it was a bad thing, now it's not anymore, because values have changed. So what's the deal? There is a lack of consistency, because you are still hurting someone. I mean, you are not directly insulting them, it's more a tangent thing, but you are still hurting people, and the point was to not hurt the people, or am I missing something? Maybe there is a different topic. Now I'm going to talk about a word that has an heavy meaning, a difficult word, but a word that everyone can use, and such a word is negative, and that's okay, and I agree. This word is negative, and there are no positive versions of it. Such word is, well, there are two actually. They are Nazist and fascist. Or, well, you can use also assassin or criminal. But you use such words every day. You describe people for what they are, for what they do, or for what they believe. And you describe them as with negative words because what they do or they believe or they did was negative or is negative. And why is it so? Because our society has a certain set of values, there is an history behind, and we can label certain people using such words. And this is not a bad thing. This is correct. It allows us to express our point of view on something. These words should never be banned, because you need to address something that you believe is wrong with a word that has a negative meaning nowadays. I mean, some words even changed their meaning, because when you were a fascist or a Nazist and they were winning, such a word was not even negative for the people that wear them, and for the people that are fascists or Nazist, they believe in themselves, so for their point of view it's a good thing. So I mean, it's just because the majority is not, and this is a good thing. I mean, we should describe with the negative words negative things. But what happens if something is not considered negative anymore, but for someone it is? That's the reason. It's just a matter of power. No one really cares if someone is art, if someone is judged, if someone is considered bad. No one cares, because everyone does it. The only ones who care are the people that get art. And once those people get leverage, political power, when minorities become major minorities or majorities, they will start to say, you can say this, you can say that. And when another shift of power happens, it will change again. That's why I think this is a matter of hypocrisy and consistency. You just shouldn't ban anything, but maybe what's really to tackle is to insult people. That's the problem, the real, deeper problem. But is it a problem? Because we still insult people. I mean, you can still insult people, it's not a wrong thing. I don't know how it is in other countries, but maybe you can even get processed for insulting a person. And that's fine, I guess. There is more power in control of... and there is more power behind the people that don't want this word to be used. That's fine. I can accept it, but that's just hypocrisy. We can accept the hypocrisy. I mean, we live in a hypocritical society. It's not wrong, but wanted to say my version of the truth, that every word should be okay, even if people get hurted. But the people that get hurt have the right to defend themselves. So it's fine to say that certain words should not be used, but the real issue is not insulting others. But everyone insults people, so is it consistent to ask for just certain people to not be insulted because what they do is not considered by many bad? But if you consider it bad, you can say it. I don't know. I really see this as a censorship, honestly. There is even a worse problem. Not really worse problem, but more hypocritical. And that's the use of these words by the people that are not offended by them to refer to themselves. This appropriation of the usage of words is really terrible, because it just means that only certain people can use such a word, because those people will not get hurt. But so the problem is about getting hurt, not about using the word. So the problem should not be using the word. I hope I'm clear in this. I know it's a really delicate topic, but again, What we do need to face this matter is just have different words with the different connotations, and just accept that it's okay to have bad words, because we always judge or insult or criticize. It's fine to be more flexible and allow the law to judge case by case without really forbidding the whole word, the whole thing. If you intended to insult someone, maybe you shouldn't. But yeah, also this is a matter of priorities. There are freedom and there are actually mental health. What's more important is up to everyone to decide. The society lives in a democratic world, and of course the majority will decide, but this is not about justice. This is just about law, and that's fine by me. But just beware that whatever side you take, you'll be wrong, you'll be right at the same time, and that's just it, because we are not perfect. So we'll still insult someone with the negative attitudes, except if we decide to have a completely neutral language, but that's just plain boring and dehumanizing, honestly. So I think that's not the way to take. And it's up to you to decide, honestly, what's better. In the end, it's just this. Everyone decides what's better, and who gets the power to decide it actually will decide how the other peoples will be regarded by the society. But everyone has their own mind, and well, that's fine as it is. Well, that's really a difficult topic, I know. Just to be clear, I don't really think it's fine to insult people for their sexual life, but I don't like words being forbidden. I really don't. I just think that a word is fine, and it's what you carry behind the word when you say it that really makes the difference. It's more in the tone than in the word, honestly. Understand that there are words that carry with themselves an heavy meaning, an heavy history, but such history is not necessarily always negative, and the proof of it is that the N-word can be used, and many black people use it freely amongst themselves. And that's a case when the negative and the positive versions of the same word are the same word. I mean, the N-word is both a negative and a positive word, depending on who uses it and how they use it. And there is also the neutral version that's just black. And this shows how a word can be fine and it can develop, but the matter of consistency and hypocrisy is really, really within this whole web, this whole matter. Well, take your own stance on the matter, honestly. Everything is fine, I think. Really, everything is fine in this.